I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucked.
There we go. It's another edition of the Daily Puck Drop here on Wednesday, December 17th. We are back inside the world-renowned Limbach Lumber Studios. Big thanks to Limbach Lumber. Without their support, we could not take the show on the road yesterday in Pullman without Limbach Lumber saying, we'll take the studio from Seattle and Ballard all the way to Pullman, Washington for you. They're going to help you with all your projects. Contractors, do-it-yourselfers, they treat you the same there at Limbach Lumber. They're going to offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner projects. They've got the largest stock moldings in the Northwest. They've got old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Give them a call, 206-782-3487. They also would like to remind you or inform you during these holiday season, obviously with Christmas, 8 days away now. If you can give back to your local food bank, please do so, whether it's by volunteering, food, money. At this time of year, if you can help out your local food bank, the one that's closest, nearest to you is great. They do a lot of great work with the Ballard Food Bank. And I would even add on to this, and they would agree, not only the holidays, but what is happening in our state right now, up and down I-5. It's just, you've seen the pictures, the images. It's horrific. And there's going to be a lot of people this holiday season don't have homes, don't have food. They need help. So, again, help out your local food bank. American Red Cross, Skagit Relief Fund is available. We'll try to link and talk about it a little bit later in the show. You can follow us on all the social media platforms, Puck Sports everywhere except for TikTok. It's Puck_sports. And you can join us at pucksports.com. Be a member of the Pucks Posse. You get everything that we do here daily for free. Plus, we give you bonus shows every week. The newest Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish as we talk trade deadline. We talk offseason trades. Brendan Donovan, I don't want Laz Montez traded. Okay? No dice. All of it available right now. The newest Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish available for Pucks Posse members. Also, you know what is available for you right now? And this is free. And I'm surprised we actually don't charge for this. Because if I thought we could charge, I don't know, $20 to $25 a month for this next guest, I think we'd get it. I don't think there's anybody in this land that is worth more than the next person we're about to bring on. And we bring him on usually Mondays, but, it was a travel day, so he couldn't make it on a Monday. Wednesdays and Fridays, and along with him on his merry sleigh are three great sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Santa Claus, Jim Moore.
Ho, 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 Puck. They wouldn't take me back there at the Hayden Homes Amphitheater. They also run the Santa Claus thing. So here I am being Santa Claus for you. Ho, ho, ho. I want to thank...
One too many margaritas for Mrs. Claus.
It was only one. I swear to God, it was only one.
One too many. She's loose.
Yeah. Hey, Puck, I want to thank Brotherton Cadillac and Shoreline, Brotherton Cadillac and Brotherton Buick GMC in Renton. Their family-owned dealership with deep roots in the community. Brotherton is more than just a place to buy a car. They'll be your automotive partner for life, committed to exceeding your expectations. So stop by their locations in Shoreline or Renton or visit brothertonauto.com. You know what tonight is? It's Wednesday night. And it's a Cougar basketball Wednesday at the Angry Beaver in Greenwood. And if you're not into watching the Cougs at 7 o'clock against Eastern Washington, it's trivia night at the Angry Beaver in Greenwood. And trivia night is run by Geeks Who Drink. And apparently they're pretty cool in the trivia world. So you can, show up tonight at 7 o'clock, win some prizes at trivia night. And then maybe you can watch the Kraken again. Boy, the Kraken, they're a pretty exciting team this year. It's known as a hockey bar there, the Angry Beaver in Greenwood. God, their coach seems like a dick, too. I don't know what's going on with him.
But why can't they not find a coach? For the love of God. This organization, we shit on a lot of organizations in this town, but this one, are we sure they know what they're doing over there? Because they're now on their third coach. Looks like they're going to soon be on their fourth coach, right? Does that sound about right?
How crazy is that? They only took
So-
questions from team employee last
So
night.
people didn't know. If you don't know, if you're not following the story, trust me, I've seen the ratings. No one really is following them. All right. So the Kraken have lost, what is this? Their 10th loss in the last 11 games?
Yeah, 9 out of 10. I think.
9 out of 10. Okay. They're free falling again. It's just the same story every year, it feels like, with these guys. I was listening to it on my drive home though last night. That fits you. He can call a game. Okay.
He's really good.
He's real.
He's a good guy too.
Now the guy that comes on during the, what do they call it? Intermissions.
Yeah, he kind of sucks, right?
Well, I think when I listened to that guy, I think his name was Mike. Something Mike.
Yeah.
Came across as very egotistical to me.
How can he remain upbeat right now? Is he still remaining upbeat? Is he finding silver linings?
Do we know if Benton was the one employee that was allowed to ask the question last night to Mr. Sensitive Lane Lambert? First of all, I can't take someone serious when their first name's Lane. I'll be honest with you. Lane.
Why?
So
Lane over at the Seahawks, you didn't take him seriously?
I did not take Lane Gamble serious. And I will not take Lane Lambert serious as well.
Lane was one of Pearson's robots. Yeah,
he was one of his. But I did like Lane though. I did get along with him. So they lose again last night. You posted it. I didn't see it until I saw your post, which was just a retweet of Sound of Hockey. By the way, the guys at Sound of Hockey do a great job covering the team. They really are great. And so I guess because he was frustrated, he only allowed one question, or it was one reporter. I can't remember only one reporter, but it was a team employee, and they did not allow anybody else to ask a question. What the fuck are we doing over there?
Probably Jeff Baker.
Was it Jeff Baker because he works?
Well,
for the
I'm
team,
just guessing though. But yeah, Baker or Benton, or is Benton paid by KJR?
He's not paid. He is a KJR employee. He is not a team employee. So it's Baker is the team reporter. So have you ever heard of a professional franchise of saying, nope, we're good. We're only going to allow one question, one reporter ask a question, and it's our guy. How embarrassing is that?
Well, what's funny about it too is in hockey, those guys are supposed to be tough guys, right?
Oh, I know. That's exactly what I thought. I'm so glad you brought it. Mr. Tough Guy. How many times you got to listen to people tell you how tough the sport is and how they do it the right way, right? How many times? Oh, the handshake line, which I love the handshake line, by the way. I do. I think it's one of the greatest things in sports, especially in the playoffs. But how many times, and when people compare the NBA and the NHL, oh, that would never happen in the NHL. They're such above and beyond that. This organization, this guy took a question from a team reporter and then boxed out everybody else. That's Jesus. Have fun with that one.
All right, Puck, I got one more sponsor I want to thank.
We didn't get to them all?
First and foremost, a clean streak. We're back to a clean streak. The cleaning service out of Oak Harbor. And Brian also runs Bright Owl Lighting, but he's got a roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, pressure washing business. Turner and his crew, they're also the best in the business at washing your windows and cleaning everything. I don't know if you've seen the reviews. I looked through the reviews today. Debbie and Dave Carruthers said, boy, they were on time. They were courteous and very professional. Our windows and screens look amazing. If you want your screens, your windows, your roofs, everything, if you want it all to look amazing, get a free estimate. Call them at 360-395-5748 or visit acleanstreak.com.
Okay, great stuff. All right. Well, we've blasted the Kraken. I think that's about as much time that it takes a guy to only take a question from a team employee for us to talk about him. So that's where they're at. Good. I mean, that's.
I thought about being at that press conference last night and questions I would have asked. I would have gone out of my way to be annoying, and I'm annoying anyway.
Well,
I probably would have pulled out the question about, hey, coach, did you think about pulling your goalie at the start of the game tonight?
I would have asked a question. I would not have allowed the team to tell me I can't ask a question. That's number one. I would have been like, no, that's not your job. And I'm not paid by you. So I'll ask a question. He can choose whether to answer it or not. That's up to him. but I'm not going to sit and listen to you tell me that I can't ask a question. I mean, that's just embarrassing. God almighty.
I'm glad you're so irritated by that.
It just
I don't
bothers
think
the piss out of me.
the typical listener or reader of a website or a newspaper really cares that much about what
I know they
last
don't.
night with that.
Well,
but with us in our business and what we've done for our careers, that's like, come on, you pussies. I mean, really.
Oh, Jesus. It's just ridiculous. And I'm not a big fan. And I know we know people that do this. And again, I'm not, and a job is a job. I'm not a big fan of the team websites and the reporters. That's a line that's really being blurred. Now, again, that's just my personal take, but we've got a lot of people that we know that have done it and are doing it. And, it's a job. And so, hey, in this day and age, I'm not going to complain about anybody having a job. I just think that line needs to be, there needs to be a separation of church and state. You have, having that, you're not going to ever ask a question that's ever going to press anyone. Ever.
No, you and I have been really fortunate, and we've been told by people who are in those jobs, and we also, like you're saying, we understand. We would do the same thing if we were in their position.
Most likely, yes.
But they really appreciate that we're not in their position and can say whatever the hell we want or ask whatever we want.
Yeah,
like, a guy like John Boyle, if I were John, I would want his job too at Seahawks.com. But he can't ask questions that he really wants to ask.
But I think John does it, but not to single out John, but I think he does a good, I will just say this.
I just used him as an example, and I love John.
I think he does a good job of doing a lot of profile pieces and, kind of highlighting players more so than let's break news and talk about the team and ask, why'd you punt it there? Why didn't you go for it? So, there's plenty of other people to kind of handle that, there for him.
But you're not going to go off on Mike Macdonald for some in-game decision like we might.
Mannequin Mike. Stacking wins, just stacking. Mike, do you have a problem facing the Rams? I don't have a problem facing the Rams. We're just going to stack it. We're going to get Stafford. We'll get to that because he does have a Rams problem. We'll get to that in just a quick second. We missed you yesterday. People asked about you. Hey, where's the go-to guys? Jim Moore going to be here?
Okay, people, are you saying 1, 2, or actually 0? And
multiple.
No one really asked.
Multiple people. I believe, if I get the name wrong, I'm sorry. And if he's watching, I apologize. I believe it's Brian. He works at the video, runs the video for the Cougs. He was hey, where's the go-to guys? He's not here.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that.
Your best friend
playing golf.
Well, that's pretty. Yeah, well, that's what I figured.
God, it was beautiful at Crooked River yesterday.
I bet it was. It was beautiful. Real
quick,
there.
And nobody likes to hear this kind of stuff, but I got to the 17th hole, and I put 2 balls in the water with a chance to break 80. Yeah, because I choked.
Sounds like your golf game. It was beautiful. Also on the Palouse, it was gorgeous. I took a great shot of beautiful Martin Stadium. It was beautiful to be back home. Anyways, your best friend Jack Thompson said hello.
Yeah. Okay. Jack and I had a phone conversation that was real cordial.
Well, I heard it got a little spicy.
It didn't get spicy at all. And I told Jack I appreciate him because he's the throwing Samoan #1.
Yes.
And he was terrific when I was there as a student. And when he has an issue with me, he doesn't just say, God, Jim, you're a fucking dick. What the world are you thinking? No. He comes across and he just says, Jim, let's just talk about this. And we talk it out. Man to man, it's a nice, cordial conversation. He got his point across and it was message received.
He wanted to say hello. He's looking forward to seeing you at the Potato Bowl. The sports information director of the Stars, one of the greatest people I've ever met, Bill Stevens, said hello. Bill. Well, everybody who doesn't. It was a tremendous turnout. Lots of people there. Great turnout to see Kirby Moore being introduced as the new head coach at Washington State. So we went over there. We did the show. We did an abbreviated show there in the morning. Came back on. I did another live show from the press conference. We aired the press conference. We had Kirby Moore on afterwards. We sat down with him. I'll play just a quick little snippet. We'll get your reaction to what you watched, and my reaction to sitting down with Kirby Moore yesterday.
In terms of Prosser football, right, when people ask, hey, who was your favorite player at Washington State? My favorite player was at Prosser High School, right? And the big time was where we were at.
Yeah.
And then winning 5 state titles and looking up to my dad and just winning those big games and those playoff runs. And the big thing from him was always setback, comeback, right? You're going to have those minor setbacks, and Prosser would find a way, right, through belief and, have that comeback victory sometimes in some of those situations. But just an incredible childhood growing up with my dad.
He got emotional about one guy, and that emotion was about Chris Peterson. How did he help you? How did he shape you as a player, but then later as a coach and a person?
I echoed this a little bit in the press conference, but I just really appreciated going from the player, right, at Boise. He takes the job at Washington. I'm on the other side of it, and you never know, hey, what's real, what's not real. Hey, this guy is the same guy every day. Even as a GA, he was pushing me to get better, right, on the field. Hey, Kirby, you can improve, right? There's so many other things he could be worried about, and he's trying to grow his grad assistants. And then right now, right, for me, I think it's really important to listen to people who've done it before. And so even this past weekend, I called Chris Peterson. I put the phone down and let him talk for an hour. Hey, here's the pros, here's the cons. Sure. Hey, think about this. Make sure, right, when you're making decisions, you want to have urgency, but you don't want to rush. So it was just really good dialogue. Super appreciative of
He's
Coach
made a
Pete.
big impact on you.
Huge impact.
Yeah. I don't know how much of at least that yesterday or the press conference you caught, but your reaction to Kirby Moore being introduced to you yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the whole press conference. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it last night. I thought he came across well. I don't think he came across really well. I thought he came across well, if that makes sense. I don't want to hype it into anything it was. But yeah, he didn't really go too far into things as far as the loyalty thing and how long are you going to stay, Kirby. Nobody was asking him those kind of questions. And so I thought all in all, Canzano wrote about it. You were there. It seemed like everyone came away thinking, okay, we can see why they hired Kirby Moore. And I liked the angle with him being a Cougar fan growing up, he and his brother Kellen. So everything, I thought he hit every mark. I don't think he hit a home run. I thought, let's just say he hit a double. How about that?
Yeah, I think there was some nerves in the press conference a little bit. Of course, he had the slip up with the Pac-12 and the Mountain West thing. But I also think it's a guy that's doing a press conference for the first time as a head coach as a 35-year-old. So I think
exactly.
I thought he was much more relaxed when I sat down with him. At that point, he had done, I was the last one. I think he probably had done 10 or so one-on-one interviews.
How long did you get with him?
I was about 10, 12 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Can we see that at pucksports.com?
Yeah, thanks for paying attention. You obviously, it's all up there.
I
right
saw your sound bites on Twitter and all that.
Yeah.
So
it's
I
up on YouTube. The full interview with Kirby Moore from yesterday, the one-on-one, is up on YouTube, Puck Sports, also on all the podcast platforms, Apple and Spotify, wherever you can find it. So
yeah, well, I don't want to sound like I'm not excited about what I heard yesterday.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to go over the top either.
Well,
just
sure, I get
being
it.
honest, like I want to be really, really excited. And I came away kind of going, okay, I'm excited, but I'm not over the moon excited.
Well, I would say this about him. I'm excited because I'm going to tell you that he is thing I kept coming back to, and I'm going to post it up later. I haven't done it yet just because we got done. I got done and I had to, drive all the way back and get home. But I sat down with his dad for about 6-7 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, Tom Moore. And if people don't know who Tom Moore is, he's a legendary football coach in Prosser. He talked a little bit about him in that clip. And he got really, really kind of choked up and emotional talking about Chris Peterson's influence on Kirby. And, football coach to football coach, dad to dad, all of it. And the thing I came away was spending some time with Tom Moore, talked to his wife a little bit. You would love it. When I was waiting for Kirby to come over and do the interview, his oldest daughter was kind of milling around, looking at him and just kind of hanging out with dad. She's about 5.5. Her name is Sutton. I talked to her for about 15 minutes. Just the nicest little kid you could ever imagine. Just big personality. And the thing I came away with the most that I think this base needs right now and fan base needs is someone to put their arm around him. Mm-hmm. Because for the last 3 years, it's been real shit on by everyone, constantly being shit on, whether it's college football, whether it's coaches, media, everyone is shitting on them. And this guy grows up in a town, about 7,000 people. He's got grandparents there. He's got relatives in Spokane. He's got relatives on the Palouse, like literally live in Palouse.
The town of Palouse.
The town of Palouse. is family. This guy they are very family centric and driven. And you could see he had so many family members there, so many that all live within an hour and a half of the place. And I just think that's really important. Now, whether or not that means he can coach and he'll be a good coach, I don't know. We'll find out. We can bitch and moan next fall about the decisions he did or did not make during the game because he's going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. But they just needed someone to just kind of put their arm around him. And I just think he's that. Did he go to school there? No. He wanted to go to school there and would have gone to school there, as he tells me in the interview. But Tim Rosenbaum decided not to recruit his older brother, Kellen Moore. So Kellen went to Boise State.
God,
that's why
throw
Kirby
Rosie
Moore.
under the bus.
Well,
like that.
that's the truth. That's
he
it.
beat UCLA when Troy Aikman was there. Okay,
I'm telling you, Kellen Moore could have been a Cougar quarterback, but
Tim with two M's. Leave him alone.
A certain former quarterback said, "I don't think you can cut it in the Pac-12." Pac-10.
Yeah. Well, no, you hit.
So I just think they need someone like that, and he is just very humble. He's easy going to talk to. He's not braggadocious. He's just a confident young man with a good family that's around him. And then when he goes up there and says, I knew what the remark was going to be. He started off his press conference. He goes, I'm home. And someone said, well, how long is that going to last? Well, I do believe him when he says that. I mean, this is home for him. I mean, he grew up here. As he told me, he went to 20 plus games as a kid, going there, watching those teams play, wanting to go and play football there, growing up being a Cougar fan. So I think this is going to be, I think it's the right hire at the right time for how much the school has had to deal with.
Yeah, he's one of us. Yeah, sure, he went to Boise State, but as you point out, he was, as a kid growing up, he went to the games, and so he gets it. And there's just so many things there to like, and I hope that he'll end up being like Dan Lanning at Oregon. Now, Oregon, it's a different situation, but Lanning with young kids wants to raise his family there. Maybe Kirby Moore and his wife will get there in Pullman and think, okay, this is a great place to be. Yeah, I can have this aspiration of going back. That's the thing that worries me, and somebody brought it up on Twitter, and it's true. He's already had a sample of the SEC being there at Missouri. So, you got to take it for two or 3 years, and hopefully there's a coach on the staff that can, I think you pointed this out, that will take over for him when he leaves. But in the meantime, let's just enjoy the moment with Kirby Moore, and let's see how it all works out. I love what he had to say about Chris Peterson, too. Clearly Peterson, it's mutual. It's mutual with those two guys, because to give him an hour of his time. And so that I bet if we got Chris Peterson, he would go on at length about Kirby Moore.
Jim, I think it's safe to say
he is as a young coach.
I think it's safe to say that Chris Peterson is a second father to him. It
appears that way.
When his father, Tom Moore, getting emotional when I'm talking to him about Chris Peterson's influence on his kid. It's great. And you'll hear it. I'll post it up later. It's funny. They are a football driven family. And he talked about in the press conference, he talked about with me, when they would go on spring break, they would go to spring football camps. That was their spring break. He would take them to UW and WSU and every school in the Pac-10 for their spring football games and practices. That was their spring break. So I think again, he's got to win. And that's all that really at the end of the day matters is winning. But I think they got a good
first impression was good.
And I'm going to tell you, I think he's going to swing pretty big for some assistant coaches that have been rumored about interviewing for that job. And I'm just going to be curious if he can land them. Because I think when I think you've heard names of Brian Harsin being thrown out, Justin Wilcox. These are all guys that he has a relationship with. Every one of them. It goes back to their days at Boise, too. I think he's going to swing pretty big.
Those two names, don't you think they have aspirations to be head coaches, though? Or do you think they're in a position where they would take a coordinator job?
I think maybe you take a step back, you do a coordinator job, and you move on. Mm-hmm. Tom Moore just threw it out there when I was talking to him. I'm like, I took a kind of a step back, thinking maybe he's going to take a bigger swing at some coordinators to bring him in there. So we'll see. Everything is up there. We've got there's up on YouTube is the full. I came on 20 minutes before the press conference started, did a whole show there inside the the club room up there in the football stadium. We carried the press conference, the reaction after it. That's up on YouTube. Just search Puck Sports. And then also my one-on-one interview with Kirby Moore from yesterday's up on YouTube and on the audio podcast platforms, Apple and Spotify. All right. Mike Macdonald's Rams problem. You know what? In theory, hold on.
Good transition there. I like that.
I don't know. Macdonald. I'm not going to give Mike Macdonald credit for beating the Rams last year. So in my view of how I view Macdonald's record against the Rams, he's 0-3. He's 0-3.
Because that game didn't matter, that last game of the season.
Well, none of the starters played, and they almost lost. Jimmy Garoppolo almost beat him.
Yeah.
So if Matt Stafford and the rest of the offense played, they're beating the Seahawks. So he's 0-3 against the Rams. And again, he was hired here in part to beat the Rams and beat the Niners. And he, at some point, has got to show that he can do it. Now, his defense did it in game 1 of this year. They should have won the game, except for the quarterback threw 4 picks. So hopefully he can get it turned around. Yeah. I don't know what can he have the same type of game plan he had in the first game? Well, God, I hope so. But I don't think Matt Stafford's going to play that way again. Have you checked out Stafford's numbers this year? Just look at him.
Yeah, no, he should be the MVP of the league. ESPN on that, the yelling show that I watch.
Yeah, how was the yelling show?
Well, they had a really good graphic today.
Oh,
Matt
good.
Matt Stafford against the blitz this year.
Oh,
23 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, they don't blitz a lot, so that's good for them.
That's true.
3,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 5 picks. Jesus. Remember in the beginning do you remember in training camp, they thought he couldn't play? He never practiced because of his back.
Yeah.
Spinal.
It seemed problematic going into the season. And what is he now? 37 or something. It's not. But haven't you always liked Matt Stafford? Even going back to the Lions days, how good he was and in a losing cause, and then coming to LA. And so I pull for him generally. I mean, I just love the ball that he throws. He just is always on time, on target, all those things. So,
and there's always this debate still, which I just love. Is he a Hall of Famer? Oh,
God.
Yeah.
There's a debate?
Yeah. People really have a debate whether or not he's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Oh, well.
He's damn good.
He's gonna make it in, but I don't know what to make of that game tomorrow night. I'm actually kind of hoping that weather plays a factor.
No, I'm hoping weather doesn't play a factor. I'm hoping we get maybe a break from the weather. And I think I think there's hundreds of thousands of people, Mr. Grinch down there in Sunny Bend, that would like a break from the weather. Okay.
Yeah, there's blue sky down here today.
What an insensitive prick you are.
No, I feel like weather should favor the Seahawks is what I'm getting at, jackass.
Jesus, man.
No, don't you think poor weather would favor the Seahawks or not? No, wait, and then you could go, well, no, their running game isn't very good. So
I'm hoping the weather clears up. Just understand. It's a good time to remind everybody about the American Red Cross, even though that Jim doesn't want to remind you of it.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
No, I'd like the weather to be nice. I'd like it to be clear.
Okay.
It could be a lot of people like,
okay.
I know what you're saying.
Okay, you're in a position right now. Let me give you a hypothetical. You're in a position to bet everything you have, including everything you've invested in pucksports.com.
That's a lot of money.
Okay. Will Sam Darnold put the pass behind him tomorrow night, or will we go after the game oh my God, he's always going to be that guy that can never produce in the biggest moments. The Seahawks are going to have to consider Milroe or someone else. There'll be jackasses like me writing shit like that if he doesn't play well tomorrow night.
So I've got to put everything on that I owe, that I have invested into this top 3 podcast in Ballard.
Yeah, and you have to shove Maple and Cedar into the middle too, the middle of the table.
Well, Cedar's been dead for about a decade, so it's
Maple and Alder. I'm sorry, I'm getting the trees mixed up that you named your dogs.
Yeah, it's not after a football player that.
Okay, Maple and Alder,
still pretty good.
And the new puppy Willow.
No, Birch.
Okay, all right. You have to shove it all to the middle. If I'm shoving it all to the middle, you didn't ask
the
me.
Ladder.
I'm betting that he doesn't shine tomorrow night.
Of course, yes.
I mean,
who would bet that he? Honestly, Who would bet if they had to put everything that they owned that he would shine?
Darnold's parents.
Okay, maybe Darnold's parents, maybe his girlfriend. That's about it. Come on. And does that
think
make
anybody in Minnesota is betting on him turning that around tomorrow night?
That doesn't make us a non-Darnold believer or non-Darnold fan. But
well, it's just like the fascination I had with Phillip Rivers this last week, just edge of the seat, wanting to see how it turns out for this old man who's coming back after not playing for 5 years. Same thing I'm going to be tomorrow night. That's all I'm going to be focused on is like, what kind of a game is Sam Darnold going to have?
Because he can't lose the game for him. He doesn't have to win it, but he can't lose it. And he lost the first game for him. He cannot turn the ball over. He plays like he played last week. Doesn't even have to play that well. Just don't turn it over. And
this reminds me of the days back in the early 90s with the Palouse Posse defense. And we had Chad Davis at quarterback. We could have won the national championship.
I don't think it's quite
and the Seahawks have a defense that is that top tier level defense.
He's not Chad Davis. Stop it.
I know. Well, just play along. I'm your teammate, for Christ's sake.
But that's disrespectful to Sam Darnold.
Okay, fair enough. But it has some reminder of that.
What
I'm getting at is the same thing that you got at, but you were nicer. You had a nicer way of saying it. Is that the Seahawks can win a Super Bowl this year if Sam Darnold just doesn't blow it for them? Honestly, right?
Yeah, and he doesn't. Yeah, and it doesn't.
I mean, maybe I heard Jeff Saturday on the Yelling Show today saying that that lack of a running game or a consistent running game with the Seahawks is going to bite them in the playoffs.
Well, I think it's a good point there by Jeff Saturday. I agree with that.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we'll see how Sam does tomorrow night. I sure, just on a personal level, as a Seahawks fan, those types of things, I hope that he comes through.
Agreed.
But it's just the whole mental part of it has always been fascinating to me, and that's something that even if he says it isn't in his head, it is. And I hope that he's had a bunch of not skills training, but mental training coach type guys helping him this week.
It's like you finishing at the golf course yesterday. Understand you have a chance to break 80, you put 2 in the water.
Correct. And
mentally weak.
I think if Darnold has a lob wedge in his hand tomorrow night, he'll do the same thing. And I hope he doesn't.
Did you read the Athletic story on the expansion talk from Adam Silver? Adams, again, we push it to another year. I don't know if I feel better about what he said or worse or the same. I feel better in a way, actually.
I felt better because he mentioned Vegas and Seattle.
He finally kind of felt like for the first time just said, if we do it, it's these 2 teams. This is what we're doing.
That seemed like the news there for me.
I agree. I know there were some people going, oh my God, it's here we go again. We're pushing it back. I guess I didn't expect some type of announcement in 2025. And who knows, 2026 could be in a month. I don't know. Maybe he's going to announce it January 1st. I mean, I would assume that probably gets to the All-Star game is maybe when he finally says something, and who knows when they'll play. But I don't know. I saw or read it yesterday and everyone was posting it. If you haven't, go to theathletic.com. They've got a story up there. Adam Silver talks about expansion, says, hey, we are going to have an announcement or something finalized one way or the other in 2026. And he goes, if we proceed with it, the 2 teams we're focused in on are Vegas and Seattle. So
don't
positive.
you think that was encouraging?
I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
100%. So,
right.
I can't wait.
You just, after all of the stuff that's been said over the years,
almighty.
You kind of go, grain of salt, you take it and you go, yeah.
I just want
until it actually happens. You're not going to believe anything coming out of his mouth.
I just want him before my kids leave. Now, I doubt it. We're going to get it before my daughter graduates, but at least we'll have a chance with my son. I just want him here so they could see him here. I want to, and with the way that hockey team is going and their coach not talking to the media anymore, they'll be an afterthought soon. If they aren't already, and they can swoop right in there.
The one thing that just kills me that I think was pointed out by Silver, if not Silver, Tim Booth in his story in the Seattle Times, just talking about the owners might not be on board with it because they don't want to go from 1/30th of a share to 1/32nd. I'm going, shit, man, how many billions do you guys need? I mean, how
Too many. Like, Jesus. Just too many billions. Just so many billions.
And then who's going to be able to afford a franchise? I mean, the numbers they're talking now.
They got to find somebody.
That somebody in Seattle is going to go, oh yeah, I got $6 billion laying around.
Oh, there's people that have got $6 billion laying around. We just got to find
not many that want to invest in an NBA team.
Does anybody have $1 billion hanging around for the Cougar Collective? Come on.
Please, God. Yes.
Somebody. Yeah. We need a whale. You know what I'm thinking? You know, I bet donates to the Cougar Collective. I was just thinking about this yesterday. And I'm going to see how much money he's making a year. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Because I think we have someone that that may donate to the collective.
Okay. While you're looking for that, I'll buy some time for you. Okay. You know what I like about our press conferences when we announce a new coach is that it always looks like there's some guys that got off their combine to come to the press conference.
I agree. I don't know. Did you see it? Because in the back there was like farmers, some wheat farmers back there with boots on, and I'm like, fuck yeah, man!
You got the flannel shirts and the suspenders and unshaven or beards.
It was so
older
beautiful
guys,
over
kind
there.
of fat, yeah.
It was so beautiful over there. I'm going to send you a picture I took of the stadium on my way out. Just
okay. God, and the other thing, and this is a quibble. This is a nitpick. You ready? At the end, when we played the fight song, it didn't really seem like Kirby was in tune with the spell out.
Well,
and all
maybe
of that. And I say that because as a kid who grew up being a Husky fan, I know that Husky fight song. I know the words to the song. I know all of it. I was a little surprised someone who claims that he's, this big Coug fan growing up that, W-A-S-H-I.
Well, maybe he's just off a little bit musically. Maybe he doesn't have much rhythm. Leave the guy alone.
Well, I don't either, but I can do our fight song.
Well, you've also have how many? You've
three times
the life. What? 3 times the lifespan the guy has. So kind of some slack.
Two.
What's that?
35 times 2 is 70, and I'm 68.
I thought you were older than that.
Yeah.
Right. Before you go,
wait, did you find the guy, the whale?
Oh no, Kellen Moore makes $7 million a year for the Saints.
Okay. Hey, did you see what the Tulane coach did?
Yeah, gave $100,000.
Or I think it was $10,000. I don't know.
It
whatever it was.
I think it was $100,000.
Whatever it was, but on his way out, where's he going? Where's the Tulane coach going?
Florida.
I forget.
No. Where is he going?
I forget. There's so many.
Is he going
coaches.
To Florida? I can't.
So many
remember.
Coaches moving around. But that's pretty cool. Do you think Jimmy Rogers? Do you think he could leave some money for us?
I don't care. I've got something for you. Caught up with Ryan Divish earlier today to do another edition of Inside Pitch, which is available right now to all Puck's Posse members. Now, again, I have a soundbite of him talking about Brendan Donovan, but I also have a great soundbite of you. Apparently, you don't even know this. Among the Seattle media people, I think they've got a separate text thread about all of your bets and predictions.
Jim Moore bet on the Cats. I've never seen a guy more wrong more often.
Well, that's why we love him.
Me and Akita and Canota have kind of keep track of certain media guys who make all these predictions, whether they're for betting or not, and how often they're wrong. Okay, we want Jim Moore to have his own podcast just called Fade Me, because he's just so wrong all the time. He's like the Costanza. If everything you've done in your life has been wrong, why don't you just do the opposite?
Am I on that list?
No, you're not. So
perfect.
I mean,
that's why I don't make.
What's
that? There you go. So apparently you're on a text thread with other media members because of all the predictions that you get wrong and bets you get wrong. Just thought I'd play that for you.
That's fine. Alex and Ryan, you guys, I like both those guys. And you know what? I appreciate anybody swinging at me like that. That's fine. And I have it coming and my latest example of that was taking Boise State in 9 against the Huskies.
You nailed it. It was close, pretty close there.
But I'm also someone who won $9,000 on the Masters, and I won $1,200 on a 3-team parlay last week. So,
there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell them to pound sand.
All right. And I'm also someone who bought another TV. I've got 6 TVs at my house now. And this one is out. It's mounted right by the hot tub, so you don't have to get out of the hot tub. So you can just sit there.
So 2 TVs outside now?
Yes. Yeah. You know what? And I know it's excessive and I know it's crazy. And I know that a lot of people would be like going, God, you've got a problem, Moore. You've got a problem. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm retired.
Yeah.
I like to watch $173 for this latest TV. Yeah. And what the heck? Yeah.
You like to sit in the hot tub with your lady, have a cocktail, and watch the game. You gonna be in the hot tub tomorrow night for Thursday Night Football, watching the Seahawks and Rams?
I could be. Yes, I'll be doing that.
Do it.
Went to the liquor store yesterday, restocked. I'm good to go. The kids are in town.
Well, anytime Mike
Cougar basketball, we'll be having a couple of shots at Jack Daniels later.
Well, have fun watching that.
Well, Ace Glass being in the final minute tonight against Eastern Washington.
Out. Find a new coach. All right. We'll move on.
You're out on David Riley.
Pull the plug. Find someone new. All right. See you Friday.
Okay, Puck. Go Cougs.
There he is, Jim Moore, the go-to guy with us on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Brought to you by A Clean Streak, also Bright Owl Lighting, Brotherton Cadillac, and the Angry Beaver. We turn our attentions to attention, if I can spit it out, to the NFL and your Seattle Seahawks in the bloody trenches with Rob Staton coming up next. It's all brought to you by Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
All right, Rob Staton is with us here from SeahawksDraftBlog.com. He's with us here every single week. We missed him last week. He was on vacation. He was on a Disney cruise. Were you on a cruise boat or just a Disney World?
No, it's a cruise boat. So the reason I did it is so. Have you ever heard of the draft analyst called Tony Pauline?
Sure.
So me and Tony, I do respect Tony an awful lot, and I've interviewed him for years and years now, and consider him a bit of a friend. And this one time I was interviewing him, and I was going away on holiday the next day, and I was telling myself, don't, because we were going to Disney World. And I said to myself, don't bring that up with Tony. He won't want to know. He's a very serious man. He won't want to hear anything about me going to Disney World. And then in the conversation, I accidentally mentioned I was going away the next day. And he said, well, where are you going? And I went, well, we're going to Florida. He went, yeah, are you going to Disney World? And I said, yes, we are. And he went, I got married at Disney World. Ooh. And so he loves Disney. Oh. And he said, what you need to do is, he says, you need to go on a Disney cruise. And so I said, okay. I mentioned it to my wife. I'm not a huge Disney person at all, really, but we thought we'd give it a go. We've got young kids, and we went on one last year, and it was absolutely fantastic. So we did another one, and it was fantastic again. It's the kind of thing I never would have expected to like in a million years, and I've enjoyed both that we've done.
It's the things you don't try, you don't know, and until you try it that you like it. Good. It's a good time away. You got some color in you, not so pasty like you Brits usually are. Good.
Because you're all so tan in the Pacific Northwest.
The sun is raining down on us, Rob. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk Seahawks. You can follow Rob there on social media, Rob Staton. Also, SeahawksDraftBlog.com and his YouTube page, Rob Staton Football. Again, brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. Well, here we go. Coming up tomorrow, Rams Seahawks, number 2. I was telling Jim this. I count Mike Macdonald in his coaching career 0-3 against the Rams. I put an asterisk because last year doesn't count. The win at the end doesn't count for me because it was against Garoppolo and all the backups. So I think he's really 0-3 against them, or he can say 0-2. How does he solve the riddle that is the Rams to him? Now, guess you could say, well, he already did it, Puck. He did it in game 1. It wasn't his defense; it was his offense that let him down.
That was what my answer was going to be. My answer is going to be is that they're 0-2 against, Mike Macdonald's 0-2 against the real Rams, because Geno Smith was absolutely useless last season, and Sam Darnold was absolutely useless this season. Defensively, they were fine. They were more than fine. I think I read something earlier that there's a bit of analytics that tells you that was the worst game of Stafford's career or something in the game a few weeks ago in terms of production. He had, Seattle should have beaten the Rams a few weeks ago, and they didn't because of Sam. And they should have beaten the Rams in Seattle last year, and they didn't because of Geno Smith's bonehead interceptions. So there you go. If they're going to win this tomorrow, they're going to need the quarterback to play a lot better. And I think if he does, they may well win. But it's a huge question mark, isn't it?
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, what does he need to do better? And it's not just Sam Darnold. It's got to be Clint Kubiak. So let's sit back and wonder. We can be junior offensive coordinators. We're all junior offensive coordinators when we're watching the game, for God's sakes. Okay, what can Kubiak do to make life easier on Sam Darnold tomorrow?
Well, I think the one thing that they've not been able to do all year to make life easier on him would be to actually run the football well. But, you know, the clips that people have been putting out this week on social media of the all 22 view show that people are just not executing this system well at all. Like when there's double teams, people are they're not doing it correctly. You're getting a guy in the backfield. When you're doing your sort of getting your center and your guard running across to the right and they're progressing to the second level, they're just not showing any degree of latching onto their targets, using strength, driving off the ball. Your tight ends are not doing a good enough job blocking. Like everything just seems to be, I hate to use the word broken, but it feels like it is. And then on top of that, I don't think Ken Walker's playing well. And, Zach Charbonnet's not playing that much better. But I did look at some data this week. So I think yards after contact is an important statistic because running backs, I think the difference between a good and a great running back is their ability that, anyone can run through an open gap. But when you've got to break a tackle, you've got to get that extra yardage, which in fairness to Jonathan Taylor, he seemed to be doing all game last weekend. How are you going to do there? Zach Charbonnet's 10th in the NFL for yards after contact. Ken Walker's 32nd. He is not. People keep saying how explosive he is. He didn't have that. It wasn't that explosive at the combine, I have to say, in terms of the testing. He's always been quick. It's been a good combination of quickness and size. Not explosive, though. And I just don't think the blocking combined with the performance of the running backs is good enough. If they're going to help Sam Darnold, it's going to have to be running the football because the weather forecast is atrocious. I do not want Sam Darnold dropping back in the pocket 30, 35 times in this game in the rain and cold. You've got to be able to run the ball better. Can they do it? I don't know.
That's why we call it Inside the Bloody Trenches. Because for the love of God, win inside. And I'm with you there on Walker. God, he just is more and more as it goes on, right? He's not back. I mean, that's a guarantee that he's not back next season.
He's not going to be back. He's not.
Yeah. So they got to find another running back because I don't think any of us believe that Charbonnet is the guy. So they got to find somebody because it has been a real mystery of why they cannot get that going. You just can't. And getting Kubiak was supposed to solve that.
And John Benson, a very experienced offensive line coach who knows everything about the outside zone system. And it's the execution. It's really bad. Like when you watch the clips, it's one thing, Puck, if you have, and this is equally bad, I accept that, but it's one thing if you just have your offensive guard, let's say, getting shoved on his arse in, immediately at the point of contact, and they're just getting blown off the ball. That's one problem. That's a personnel problem. When you actually have players who at least physically fit the system that you're trying to run, and they're just not executing it, that's an issue. And there's been multiple examples this year. You can go from game to game to game where they're just not blocking properly. Tight ends and linemen. And again, the running backs are not helping out either because they're so tentative. I mean, did you see how Jonathan Taylor just put his head down on every single carry last week? And they kept getting that 3rd and 4 for Phillip Rivers. And when's the last time Ken Walker just had a game where there's not much here, Ken? Just get your head down and get us 3-4 yards a carry.
He dances too much, for sure.
So I think they're going to need to run the ball a lot better on Thursday if it's chucking it down with rain. And then for Sam Darnold, when he is, I mean, the issue now, Puck, is what do you say to Sam Darnold? Do you say to Sam Darnold, let the defense and maybe your playmakers try and win this game. We don't want you to turn the ball over. If you do that, is he going to just look like a deer in headlights? Or do you say to him, come on, Sam, get your chest out there, get out there on the field and go and show everybody that you can beat the Rams and you can play well, and we want you to go and throw it downfield? Because I'm telling you, Puck, if he throws an early interception, I'm going to be very worried about his mentality for the rest of that game.
Yeah. All right. How much do you think they're going to alter the game plan tomorrow? I think we're going to see a glimpse into the offensive game plan that I think we're going to see in the playoffs. I don't think it will be as wide. Well, how wide open they are. I think they're going to play a lot of things close to the vest. I don't think they're going to put the ball a lot in harm's way. I think you're going to see not so much what the Colts did to the Seahawks. That was real conservative. Let's keep it close. Now, they were able to do that because they could run the ball. I think you're going to see a game plan that does not throw it as much as we think. And I think and really dumb it down a little bit.
Do you know what I'd like to see? I would like to see them try and establish the run and do that better. But if I was on the coaching staff, Pug, this week, and the improvements were not showing on the practice field, like if you just thought, do you know what, the running game's it's broken, it's something we're gonna have to fix in the offseason, it's a write-off at this point. Now, it is what it is. It can only be complimentary at best. If that's the case, play action with Sam Darnold, get him out on bootlegs from the play action. Get him out of the pocket, get him on the move, have your tight ends, have your receivers running across the formation, try and move the pocket a little bit. I'd like to see a bit more of that. I think there's been a few games recently where he's been sat in the pocket. Even when he's like scrambled away from pressure, like dipped in like he's like a boxer.
I'm with you. Move the pocket around for him. He is. I think he doesn't get enough credit for how athletic he is. He moves well.
But it has. Do you know what I'm saying? That in the pocket, he has been ducking and diving a little bit. It sounds like I'm talking about dodgeball. And he kind of gets away from the pressure. And then sometimes, like the fourth down conversion against the Colts was that, like, duck, and he got through and then he threw it. It was great. But there's also been a few times you think, oh, God, he's looking a bit indecisive here and he's going to get sacked, or this is when he gets hit and there's an interception. I think you get him on the out and just say to him, look, if there's nothing there,
go.
Don't force it. Just you're out of the pocket. Just throw it into the stands.
Or run, Rob. I mean, I'm saying he can get you 4 or 5 yards with his legs.
Now, I don't know whether the defense, Puck, is going to be able to do it again, what they did to Matt Stafford. And I imagine that Sean McVay will come up with a plan to test Seattle in a very different way than the last time. But that game in LA, if they'd have just run and punted like most of the time, they might have won the game. So the 4 interceptions cost Seattle so badly. You do wonder a little bit, like, if the quarterback just doesn't lose the game, if the defense can play as well as it has been, and with this idea that Devontae Adams might not play and Brendan Fisk might not play, do you say to Sam Darnold in a way, we don't need you to be, elite Mahomes here. We just need you to be a game manager.
And I can't wait to see what McVay does. Let's just assume Adams doesn't play. What does he do then? How does the game plan shift? He uses a lot of tight ends. How many more tight ends will he use in the game? What little different chess match? I think the game within the game of him and of McVay and Macdonald together, of trying to match wits and trying to match what each other are going to do, and they know they're going to have alternatives to what they did in the first meeting. So I think that's appealing. And then I think the number 2 storyline is what we kind of started off with. Jim and I were just talking about it, is Sam Darnold. Because I think, and he asked me a question I'll ask you. If every amount of money that you have in your account right now, would you put it on that Sam Darnold rises from the ashes, puts everything behind him, all the doubt behind him, and he rises to the occasion tomorrow? Or it's the same Darnold performance against a team like this, and there's still doubt as we leave the game yesterday?
Well, I wouldn't put the £10 note in my pocket on Sam Darnold rising to the occasion, because there's no evidence of that in this kind of game. That's going to sound really negative from me on Sam Darnold, and I'm not. It's just that, look, there's nothing wrong with sitting there and going, the last 2 times he's played the Rams, it's been a disaster. So I'm going to believe it when I see it, sort of thing. And I really hope it happens. I think it could happen. I think he could have a better game, but I'm definitely not putting any money on it. And I'm definitely not clearing my account out to think that it could happen. Here's the other thing about the last game. The Rams played with the lead for the whole game. Like they went ahead very early and played with the lead. And it was a bad performance from Stafford and McVay's passing game, and it never really got going, did it? I just wonder how they will perform if it's a bit more back and forth, or if Seattle's playing with the lead, because they might be able to attack Seattle in a different way. McVay's approach, we're talking about don't lose the game, Sam. McVay's approach might have been, if we just punt the ball away, Sam Darnold's going to throw us another interception. We don't really need to force the issue here. And that might have been why they struggled a little bit and maybe were a little bit conservative minded. So I don't know. I do worry a bit about it, Puck. I for some reason, I know they're very different teams, but I just got when they played the Niners on Thursday night last season in Seattle, and the Niners were 16-3 up at half time, and Seattle came storming back in the second half, but they gave themselves too much to do. And when you look at the last 3 games, the Seahawks have scored 6 offensive points in the last 3 games in the first half. It's taken age to get going. They're needing half time to adjust, and they have adjusted. And in the last few games, it's been fine. They nearly lost the game against the Colts. They won that by the skin of the teeth. I really think they're going to need to start better tomorrow to have a chance to win this game. And I'm a little bit nervous that's going to suddenly turn around.
Okay. Let's get a prediction. How do you think it turns out tomorrow?
I'm not that confident. I have to be honest. I just don't think the Seahawks are playing well enough at the moment, and they don't have any wins against teams like this. So until they get one, I think if I'm going to predict a Seahawks win, I think that's the heart speaking over the head. So I think that my prediction is the Rams will win, and I really, really, really hope I'm wrong. And I'm not saying that for any reason other than I just, until they get that signature win, and I'm not sure they are the best team in the NFC. And winning this would pretty much mean that, well, they're going to be the best team in the NFC potentially. I'm not sure they're there yet. I think they're a really good team, but I think they're maybe a year away from that.
All right, there he is, Rob Staton, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Go up there and read all of his work. He's got terrific stuff up there on the Seahawks all the time, also about the upcoming NFL draft. You can watch his incredible videos as well. Posted a ton of them throughout the week, leading up to the game, post-game, Rob Staton Football. And again, you can also follow him on social media at Rob Staton. Well, did you get a picture with Mickey and Minnie and all that? And
we did. We got all of that. You know, I was we had a great time, but I was also like tracking everything. I just can't. I can never switch off.
You got to switch it off. It's hard. You got to turn it off.
I was tracking Washington State's coaching search as well as the work stuff and the Seahawks stuff.
Got Kellen Moore's younger brother.
Yeah, I was watching your live. You put the press conference live, and he seems like a good hire. So good luck to the Cougs. College football is absolutely broken, and it's a disgrace. and I'm really, really annoyed by that. But I'm hoping that this hire is the one that that this fella's going to stick around. So
yeah, hopefully. Give us a couple years, Kirby. It doesn't have to be a lifetime. I'm just asking for something longer than a year, longer than 11 months. That's all I care about. All right, Rob. So next week, is it Christmas? No, we'll be Christmas Eve. We won't do a show next week. It's Christmas Eve. So I will see you in a few weeks. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you as well, Puck, and your family, and to everybody who's listening and watching.
There he is. Thank you, Rob. There he is, Rob Staton, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Reminds me we've got to probably figure out the schedule for next week. Hey, self-employed. I can kind of do what I want. In the bloody trenches with Rob Staton, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Follow Rob on social media. Again, Rob Staton. Also the YouTube page, Rob Staton Football. And big thanks to Georgetown Brewery, makers of Manny's Pale Ale, Bodhisattva, Rogers Pilsner, their new tavern beer, tasting room and beer garden open daily. Go visit them at georgetownbeer.com. Now, we had a little fun with the go-to guy earlier today, talking when we had the clip of Divish talking about all the bad bets he makes and predictions. That was just to have fun with him. We also have a clip about Divish today as we catch up on Wednesdays for Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish, available for Puck's Posse members. The full video and audio is up right now. If you are a Puck's Posse member, you can watch it via the Patreon page or also on YouTube because you'll have an access to it as well. And you can listen to it up there on the Patreon page as well. And if you don't know, you can link all of your whatever podcast platform you use, Apple, Spotify, doesn't matter. Apple's my number one podcast platform. You can link all of the bonus content from Patreon to your Apple podcast. If you don't know how to do it, let me know. Send me an email and I'll help you. I'll walk you through it. But that's available right now, the full 25 minutes that Divish and I sat down, where we talked a lot about Jorge Polanco not being a Mariner anymore. We get into, obviously, kind of one of the biggest topics right now is the trade rumors involving the Mariners and the Cardinals. D-backs thrown in there as well, with Brendan Donovan and also Ketel Marte.
Brendan Donovan is not as good of a player as Ketel Marte. He's younger, he's cheaper, and he's not going to cost you as much in prospect capital. Whereas, like, you want to go get Ketel Marte, either you're giving up George Kirby or Bryce Miller along with prospects, or you're giving up more prospects like Ryan Sloan and Jerangelo Cincha and probably Laz Montez to get Marte and paying him $100 million.
But even the fact that he's owed so much money, you think they would have to give up more to acquire him? Because they're taking on how much money are they taking on? There's like $95 million.
Yeah, it'd be like a 90-some million. So the one difference would being if you're including a big league player in that trade, maybe your that would change the math up a little bit because you're offsetting some of the salary. If it was Bryce or Kirby, their arbitration numbers, or something like that. And then maybe that's how they do it too. If you're doing Marte and you're having to give a big league picture up, are they giving up a big league player but saving on some prospects and then using and going out and getting another guy? I don't know.
Again, that's Ryan Divish, Inside Pitch, available now to Puck's Posse members. Go to pucksports.com to sign up today to watch and listen to the full Inside Pitch there with Divish. What else do we got here before we wrap up the program? Oh, let me just recap yesterday. Thank you to Bill Stevens, Washington State Sports Information Director. Great hospitality. Bobby Alworth, who's his right-hand man there as well, and everyone that was over there. It was a great day over in Pullman. It was beautiful, very opposite of what it's here in Western Washington. It's always great to go back home and visit your school. And it was a great press conference. I thought that he hit all the right notes. It doesn't really matter what he did or didn't do in the press conference. It's going to be about the wins and the losses on the field. I said it a lot yesterday, I think, during the press conference, afterwards, leading up to it. I think the tree of coaches that he has come from, it doesn't mean that he will ultimately have great success, but the fact that he grew up with a dad that was one of the best high school football coaches in the state, his dad, Tom. And then he goes and plays at Boise State under Chris Peterson, who is just a fantastic person and football coach. Later works for Chris Peterson as a GA at Washington. Then goes and works under Kalen DeBoer, who again went on to have great success at Fresno, Washington, now at Alabama, and then also Jeff Tedford. He has been mentored and has been raised on the game of football by some of the greatest minds on the West Coast and in college football. And I think he's taken a lot from those guys and is going to apply it to himself as a coach. Also, I met Chris Peterson a few times talking to him. I don't know if he's going to be like a coach like Chris Peterson. We'll find out. But the mannerisms, the way he carries himself, that little quiet confidence that he has, the family aspect of it is very, very Chris Peterson-like. So in case you missed any of it, we've got the full hour-long show I did before the press conference. That's available up on YouTube. Search Puck Sports under the live videos tab. Also up on YouTube and on Apple and Spotify and all podcast platforms is once the press conference was over, my one-on-one interview with Kirby Moore Go check it out, please. Hey, and when you're there, leave a reply, a review, and rate the show. Come on, please. We need it. Before we get on out of here and wrap it up here on a Wednesday, Hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage. Now, North Seattle Restoration One will go everywhere. It's not just North Seattle. If you know someone who needs help, you yourself needs help up in Skagit County, South King County, wherever, that your house or business has been destroyed by this awful storms that have come through here, which are just awful. I got a glimpse of what the passes are like today, coming home last night, what it was turning into. It's brutal out there, and a lot of people have lost, their livelihood, have lost their home. And they need help, and they need someone to come in, and not a bunch of different entities, but one entity to do everything for them. Restoration One is the spot for you. I know these guys, they're great, and they're going to take care of you. They're going to hold your hand through the whole process of cleaning up your home, restoring your home, helping you with all the paperwork, and just guiding you through, which is just a terrible event and something that's not pleasant to go through, and they're going to do the best to help you out. So give them reach out to them at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise, restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise, and they're going to help you out. Tomorrow, your quarterback needs help. He's going to need his help from his offensive coordinator. He's going to need his help from his head coach. He's going to need help from his teammates. Tomorrow is a huge game for Sam Darnold. As we talked about a little bit earlier in the program, a lot will go towards how people view Sam Darnold, of how he performs again tomorrow. And we said it in the first meeting. Is it unfair? Perhaps, but it's competitive sports, and you're judged by how you perform week in and week out, but you really are performed at this level of how you perform against the best of the best. And he's had failures in games like this, and he knows it. He knows what's at stake. They don't need him to go out and win the game. He's going to have to make some passes that get him a key third down, extends a drive. He doesn't need to be a game manager tomorrow, and I think that would be because I think he's better than just a game manager. But he can't lose the game for him. He's got to have the foot down on the pedal. He's got to be aggressive. He's got to be the quarterback he can be, but he cannot turn the ball over. He's got to be smart with him. Because if they lose again tomorrow and we sit here on Friday and talk about the reason they lost again to the Rams was the play of Sam Darnold, the doubt that people already have about him, the doubt that the league has about him will intensify and will only grow. And I don't think anybody will have that much confidence going into the playoffs with him under center. All right, that's Hey, What the Puck, again, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Again, thoughts to everyone out there up north, south, east, peninsula, who have had their homes destroyed, their businesses destroyed, property destroyed. If you're looking for someone to come in and help you out, clean it up, restore your home, restore your business, help you with all the paperwork, everything that goes with having your home or business destroyed by damage like this, no one better than Restoration One. Go visit them at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. All right, thank you for everybody watching and listening today. Thank you to all the sponsors, Limback Lumber, Georgetown Brewery, Flat Stick Pub as always, and Restoration One. Big thanks to gym sponsors as well, Brotherton Cadillac, Angry Beaver, Brian Turner, and Bright Owl Lighting, also a Clean Streak. Thank you to one and all for supporting Jim and supporting him for being on our show 3 times a week. We really do appreciate it. You can find today's Daily Puck Drop up on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. You may watch it, but don't subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. We try to get to as many as we possibly can. And also hit that like button. You can also find the Daily Punch Up on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple and Spotify. There, you can also leave a comment, rate the show. It'd be great. Also find us at pucksports.com. There you can sign up to become a Pucks Posse member. It supports everything we do daily, all the free shows. Plus, we give you bonus shows throughout the week, including today's latest Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times talking Mariners baseball. Tomorrow, KJ Arntz with Mitch Levy as well. We also produce the Garage with Gas Take 5 podcast. You can find that on all major podcast platforms. Comes out every Monday. All right, we will see you tomorrow. Thursday's show will include a visit with, we're already to Thursday. Mike Garafolo will jump on. And, of course, we'll have a sit down there with Mitch Levy, Mitch Unfiltered. Another episode during the live show, by the way. You can watch it and listen to it live, but once the live show is over, then you've got to sign up to be a Pucks Posse member to get the full show. Mitch Unfiltered, KJ Arntz coming up tomorrow as well. We'll see you on Thursday. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We like to send out anyway.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!